Let me show y'all this clip here. So, what do you guys surmise in this clip? Get the likes up, get the likes up, get the likes up. What the hell is my screen at? Sorry, 1 second. This one. Okay. All right, y'all can see it?
Yeah.
I came out to check on you.
Huh?
What are you doing?
That's the first thing I peeped, right? She said, I came out to check on you. He said, huh? It's almost like he's surprised he getting checked on, right? Now it could just be me reading into that, but I find myself having a similar like reaction to stuff. You know, I'm accustomed to saying I'm fine. You know, like just always. You know, I'm trying to put like this sling on today. I was trying to take a shower, and my wife's like, she come in there like, you need help? You good? I'm like, well, you see, I'm looking crazy trying to get under my armpit, right? You know what I'm saying? But you asked me that, yeah, I'm gonna get it done eventually. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna be like, I'm good, but I'm not good. Like you just not. Yeah. But you asking me an obvious question. I'm almost thinking you asking as a what's it called? Formality. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at shit.
Yeah, so she don't walk by and be like, hey, fuck that nigga type shit.
Yeah. It's just like, because you know you want to go do something else, but you see a nigga looking crazy, so you straight? Like, you know, when the truth is, like, when they, like, if she's struggling, I just go open the jar. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't no, you know. You know, and if I may ask you good, but I'm already in the process of going over there to help. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that makes sense. All right, so let's keep going.
Thought you were working.
I'm looking at this.
What is it?
It's wire. It's a spool of wire. And I'm almost out of it. Can you see this spool of wire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost out of it.
Okay.
And I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. I bought it like this it's not a piece of a long time ago, but it's like 40 years of my life. It's in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense? This is what's left.
I'm sorry to hear that, and it's sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
My guy just says one of the most.
So I want to let white boy here talk because he sums it up well, but that shit was real, right? That was real, son. He was much more
What is this wire?
I don't know. He does whatever work he does.
Yeah, some type of work. I don't know if it's copper or steel or whatever. It's something he uses, whatever his hobby or you know what I'm saying. It looks like to be something he enjoys doing.
Yeah, and he could be an electrician. Who knows what he right? Like my father in concrete, they use a lot of wire. Yeah, my battery died.
Okay,
but my father, they use a lot of wire in like concrete for like the hell are these things? So basically, to frame the wall or the floor or whatever it is. They tie them together, huh?
Rebar?
They use a lot of rebar, but just that wire that he had, I forget what the hell they call. We used to have to move them all over the place, but they just tie them together and then they hold and they put the concrete in them.
Yeah.
But you know that wire is used for a multiplicity of things, and if he been doing something for 40 years, he sound like he work. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It don't sound like something he might enjoy it. Don't get me to your point, Ms. Fantastic, but it sound like something he used for work, you know? So that was a spool in his hand, Aaron, and it was empty. And he had the same spool for 40 years. You know? And she mentioned
I got you now. Okay, so symbolic of
his life. He said 40 years in the wire that's gone. And then
I got you.
He's like, well, I thought you were crying because the Jets stink. When he literally told her the story.
Yeah, some real shit.
Yeah.
So she turned a very, very profound and significant moment in his life into a joke.
I'm with you.
But what did that mean? What does that say to the bigger picture? Her response in that instance. Forms, yeah.
The things that he does is trivial.
Forms, thanks, Will. Go ahead.
The shit that his shit is trivial, or that she perceives what he thinks is important is trivial, or she thinks that the things, you get what I'm saying? What's important to him are all trivial things. She doesn't think he can get that profound, or he was even aware of things that are that profound to even care about him. Like, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. You kind of
your mic clipping for some reason.
Like, you're kind of an idiot. You know what I mean? Like, you find trivial things profound.
Hold on. Yeah, I mean, so in terms of the dehumanization, how does that contribute? Her response.
Her response? Well, definitely. It shows that even men, and I think it actually plays a part into what we're saying. People don't even recognize or respect or appreciate a man in his moment of vulnerability, right? So men are very, very seldom vulnerable. But when you do open up or so on and so forth, people don't recognize it because we don't emote like women do. So because you aren't crying and you're not this and you're not that and you're not doing all these great things, you know what I'm saying? Men do display stoicism, even in the toughest of moments. I'll never forget, man. One of the most painful things I seen, dog, was a family member of mine. He lost his kid, like young kid, and bro, he had to hold it together for the family and everything, and so on and so forth. And in the middle of the funeral, bro, he finally let it all go. He finally let it go, bro. He screamed, and he cried his tears. But imagine how long he had been holding that in since, and like you said, I don't think people understand how tough it is, how hard it is for a man to especially publicly or let yourself be vulnerable to somebody. It's so many times, like you said, whether it be the gym, whether it be whatever your release or your solace may be, right? That you confide in, that you use that basketball, gym, heavy bag, whatever. Unfortunately, some brothers, unhealthy things, drugs, alcohol, whatever, what have you. But yeah, man, people really do not understand. That's why I say men understand women a whole lot better than women understand men. You feel me? And
Yeah.
and like I said, I think that's a big part of it.
Damn. So now here, let me play devil's advocate. The clip we saw. If he never emotes, if he never expresses, when she goes out there, how is she to discern a thing she's never seen often or experienced often?
By knowing him.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Just basic human decency. I mean, like, hey, this man just said something to you and you heard him say his life. 40 years. 40 years. What the hell does anybody acknowledge for 40 years? And it's not a serious, you know what I mean? At least semi-serious moment. You feel me? 40 years, like, it's people that don't live that long. It's people that don't do one thing for 40 years. You feel me? And he's telling you, like, hey, and what's even crazier, when you realize it is, basically you have that aha moment or that oh shit moment, either or, and it's like, bruh, my life is encompassed in this one thing. A project car, something you've been building, like you said, a piece of wire at the craft that you've been working, what I'm saying, a hat or a pair of shoes, or something. And men, we have to move so much or whatever, as to when that comes across you, you really do have a moment. You feel me? And you what I'm saying, it's a moment. It can be, it's really, really I guess eye-opening, because bro, I can't tell you 20 years, bro. I did the the Navy shit for 20 years, bro. I don't that shit don't feel like 20 years. Every now and again, though, a picture of some shit will pop up, whatever, and then you get those flashbacks of, so on and so forth. So I don't think, people understand that.
You have to see it on a calendar too. Like somebody has to tell you the date and show, and then you have to put it together. Like, damn, you know what I mean? Like even a picture. If you looked at a picture, it was like 2006 or 5. You know what I mean? Like your first enlistment. You would just say that's your first enlistment, but someone have to say the date. Even then, someone have to say it's over 20 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think, make no mistake, if a man isn't a robot, then you can safely assume the moment he faces his mortality, there's going to have an impact on his psyche. And whatever a man produces, if a man's producing something, like Fantastic said, even in his recreational
Capacity.
Activities and things, if he's producing something, then that is a part of who he is. That is a representation of who he is. That shows the world, that's his contribution to the world, his mark on the world, whether it's vocational or recreational. So when a man sees that, he's looking at the result of himself, and he has to evaluate that, be it bad or good, whether he's impressed or not. Furthermore, that says that opportunity to produce something is over. Like you can't get that back. Moments in time, that's one kind of currency that once it's spent, it's gone. That bullet's out the gun. So for a man to think a man is not going to realize all these things and have an emotional reaction to them, whether he emotes or not, is inhuman. That you're assuming a man is a robot, and we're not.
There's a thing on what you're saying, right? So when I woke up from the anesthesia, and I'm just using myself because it makes it a little bit more tangible, right? And I couldn't pick my arm up for shit, right? And they like, pick your arm up or not. They didn't say that. They said, wiggle your fingers. Then they're like, can you pick your arm up or move it to the left or to the right? And my arm was numb as shit. It was numb for 2 days, right? And I couldn't move it for shit, bro. Right? That's probably like the saddest I've been in a long time, because when you look at yourself as a powerful man, that shit was like to my core. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, of course I can pick up any fucking thing, right? Like damn near. Of course I can. We had this big ass tire at the gym. It ain't been moved in a long time, but I stayed out there till I got that bitch up. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit. And then when I was telling the story about in the shower, one of the ladies said in the chat, why you just tell her to come help you? I ain't never needed help moving. You know what I'm saying? And I think that they'll often tie the conversation to like ego and all this stuff, because when I see that, it furthers the point of what happened to the man in the video. The lack of empathy for men, right? It always has to be something that's overly prideful. But if you're used to doing something and being good at it, right? And you can't do the thing, the impact is great. But when people don't compete all the time, they probably don't understand it either.
Right.
And I think that those things are missed, and that's why empathy is necessary in that instance, because you won't know what it's like to be able to not have to bang on a pickle jar before you open it. You might not know, but that lacks a lot, which is dehumanizing. No,
very, very much so.
Yeah.
And I think it's also the benefit that comes from all of what you're saying is taken for granted. They don't realize how much effort is required into becoming such a powerhouse, let alone exerting the power that this powerhouse is capable of exerting. If I can lift and move around all this furniture for everybody, that requires effort. But how'd you get that strong to begin with? That's another, you know what I mean? But people just know that when you're here, furniture can move, and it's taken for granted.
Yeah. One of my guys, I mean, this happened to me before, but one of my guys, we moving a piano up the stairs, right? Baby grand piano, essentially. Right, and the stairs is tight, so it's 2 men, right? Even though it should be 4. And top guy slips, so the bottom gotta catch it, and you like hold
and
it
on the steps.
on the steps, right? Now you got it with your hands. You got to put your shoulder on it because you got to use everything you got.
Yeah,
right. And this is the worst one was a Steinway. If you ever look up pianos, Steinway costs you $7,000, right? Heavy as shit. The best one. You don't want to hurt it, nothing, right? And so the guy gets up and they finally get busy, But I tell my wife that story, it don't resonate.
And she's like, huh? Okay.
Yeah. But she's like, oh wow.
Yeah.
That's a strong.
So what, nigga? Exactly.
Yeah. What do you want for dinner? Right. But you guys lifting heavy shit, y'all like, God damn.
Yeah, Aaron's eyes. Nigga, you said nigga, you flip with a piano going up the stairs, nigga. Yeah. But you the bottom nigga, the top nigga. You got hold. You got hold.
Yeah, you just gotta pull everyone.
You really fighting for your life, nigga. That's the lift for your life. Yeah.
And you gotta balance this thing so you don't damage your customer's property.
Yeah, so we wrap it fully, and then we put it's basically slides, up the step, but it's still a step, so it still falls a little bit. But
yeah, you could fuck up the tune of the piano if it hits something.
You gotta get them retuned anyway. Anytime you gotta go up the stairs, we already tell them you gotta get it tuned, right? It ain't gonna sound. We still gotta muscle it.
Right.
But she's like, oh well, wow. You want chicken wings? Is that lead to dehumanization?
Well, I would say that's dehumanization. I think that's just a lack of understanding. Again, man, women don't understand like what part of being a man is, bro. Like, and especially like from the physical aspect, they don't have to go through a lot of the things and adversity. So it's literally like someone speaking Chinese or a foreign language to you that you don't know. So that's what I liken it to.
Damn,
it's not purposeful. But at the same time, you like, how the fuck don't you know this? Like,
it's not malicious, right?
Yeah. It's not intentional. It's not malicious. But like, motherfucker, have you ever seen a piano? All right, so let me put you on some steps and drop it on you and let's see how it works for you. That's what you're saying in your head. You're not gonna say it to her, but you know, like,
yeah. And I guess you're right. They just don't have the understanding. So I wouldn't like. I think you're right. I wouldn't like in that, right? But the guy with the spool, that just looked crazy to me. He was tearful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he was surprised she even came out there to ask him how he was feeling. When I see the tears, immediately I'm gonna adjust. Even like, how like I'll be like if somebody say I'm lying in the chat, I'll like address it essentially. Mm-hmm. Even y'all faces kind of change when I do like it's just like. It's like they just don't even understand. Like, I don't know, man. But that white man was hurt in that video, bro. He was having a moment.
Yeah, but no, you know what's crazy? He was surprised. So it was kind of. I know it felt more. I guess it was more hurtful because she asked the question, like, you know what I mean? He's like, hey, I just came out to see where you were all right. So he thought it was like a genuine thing, right? So that's why he opened up to be vulnerable. Then the whole time, this bitch trying to set up a joke. Bitch, you set me up for me to be vulnerable for 40 years of my life, and you gonna talk about my goddamn what?
Let me show it one more time because I don't know if they know what I'm saying. What like? Did everybody see the video? Yeah, let me rewind it real quick. Oh shit.
Huh?
What are you doing? Thought you were working.
I'm looking at this.
What is it?
It's wire. It's a spool of wire. And I'm almost out of it. Can you see the spool of wire?
Mm-hmm.
I'm almost out of it.
Okay.
And I've had this spool of wire for like 40 years. I bought it like this it's on a piece of a long time ago, but it's like 40 years of my life. It's in the wire that's gone. Does that make sense? This is what's left. Does that make
I'm
sense?
sorry to hear that and sad for you, but you're wearing your Jets hat, and I'm a little concerned right now that you're wearing your Jets hat. I thought that's why you were crying.
Okay, I'm done.
My guy just says one of the most poetic, insightful things he's probably ever said to anyone in his life. And she didn't hear a single word of it. Now, yes, men are very simple creatures. There's also a depth to most men that will never be explored by a lot of their ladies.
You want to hear what else he was saying?
I mean,
No,
I
really.
guess if we need, but I'm
I
good
don't
on
give
that.
a fuck. I don't really give a fuck what you talking about. So this one, damn, I'm trying to see. Do I want to pivot? Oh, no. Let's stay here. Does this one contribute? I'll be right back too. I got to do something real quick. Does this one contribute?
Ladies, a new store has opened up in New York City,
Oh, I know this.
and it is the husband store. And if you want a husband, you can go there and shop for one. Now, there are some guidelines to shopping at this store. There are 6 floors in the store.
Mm-hmm.
Once you visit a floor and leave that floor and go to the next floor, you can't go back down. So there's none of this like looking at all the merchandise and then deciding what you want. So a woman went to the husband store, and on the first floor, the sign read, "These men have jobs." She thought, wow, a man with a job. That would be really good. She thought about it, but she thought, well, I have to see what's on the second floor. So she went to the second floor. These men have jobs and they love kids. She thought, wow, this is getting sweeter by the minute. But she had to see what was on the third floor. These men have jobs, love kids, and are extremely good looking. Well, I don't know, maybe I just better find somebody on this floor because that sounds good. But still, she felt compelled to keep looking. She went to the fourth floor where the sign read, "These men have jobs, love kids, and are drop dead good looking, and they help with the housework." Come on, ladies, now. Listen. I mean, I tell you, I've been married to my guy 50 years. 50. And he does dishes. He does laundry. He gets the bed ready at night. And he plays all the golf he wants to. She thought, wow, jobs, loves kids, good looking, helps with the housework. Oh, mercy me, she thought I can hardly stand it. And yet she had to go see what was on the fifth floor. These men have jobs, love kids, are drop dead gorgeous. Excuse me, I'm having a little voice issue here. And they have a strong romantic streak. Come on, housework and romance. But she thought, well, it keeps getting better, so I just have to find out what is on the top floor. The top floor, the sign read, "You are visitor 31,456,012 to this floor. There are no men on this floor. This floor exists solely as proof that women are impossible to please." However, to avoid gender bias, the owner thought he best put a new wives store across the street. So once again, there were 6 floors and same rules. You can only visit one floor one time. Floor number 1, man went in. This floor has wives that love sex.
All right, so we'll do the wives on the next one. Now, does this prove anything about dehumanization, or does it literally just prove that women are hard to satisfy or unsatisfied?
A little bit of both.
Hmm.
So women literally want the perfect man, and that in itself is dehumanizing because no man is perfect. But then at the same time, because she can't have the perfect man, she isn't satisfied. And like I said, we've seen this, you know, from every level, from the regular, common, everyday man to, like I said, you know, Jeff Bezos and Tom Brady.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, it seems as though, right, when we look at it, the men are doing a great job, but the great job is not good enough. At a point, he becomes like a utility.
Yeah.
Right. So if he can't be utilized in those specific ways, he's no longer valuable. Is it hyperbolic when it's said that men are only loved for what they can provide?
No,
When they can't provide, they no longer have value.
Yes, it's the definition of a man, and like I said, that's one of the ugly truths that men understand.
And we accept them because we're told to, or is that our natural? Are we innately built that way to understand that we don't get all the, like, for instance, right? Mother's Day versus Father's Day, right? We kind of accept the fact. You know,
yeah, you go get a tie or some socks, and you got to cook your own meal. Ain't nobody taking your ass out to sit down at the fucking steakhouse or you know what I'm saying, the fancy restaurant. You know what I'm saying? You got to put the motherfucking grill daddy 9s on and get out there on the grill and make sure everybody else is happy. So yeah, it is what it is.
It is what it is. That's that. I despise that saying. But it's
true, nigga.
It's true. I'm not saying it ain't true. I'm just saying, like, that saying, like, how we got here, right?
Men take it on. We accept it. We men. Like I look at my father. Oh, shout out to him. Today's his birthday. 1950 he was born.
Salute to him.
Oh, man.
Yeah, December 23rd. I watch him.
Big Chug's birthday.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. We talked about that the other week. Yep. Happy birthday,
Big Chug. Today, man. Shout out to Big Chug, man.
Yeah. Oh, and Rock. Rock. I forgot he had a twin sister for a second.
Yeah. Shout out to Chug, Rock. Big Joe. Yeah.
Hey, start the show over. Delete the show.
I forgot. But the one thing about Rock, though, if everybody else get one lollipop, she get 2. Fuck it.
Okay.
Well, there you go. There you go. Look at the reward system he's setting up. The expectation has begun right there. And that's something that he'll accept. That's the difference between Mother's Day and Father's Day. And I mean, he's going to grow up and accepting that dichotomy or that difference, right? And I watched my father go through the phases of retirement. He finally just became fully retired this year. And he still, he constantly is always asking, do you need help with something? Or do you need this? Or when we have family functions, he wants to know what he's bringing. Can the furniture, does this need to be assembled? You know what I mean? He rides around with tools in the trunk of his car, always wanting to be productive and and I'm like, nah, Pop, I got it. Sit down and go make a go pour some scotch over some ice and get into it, man. I got it. Cause I want him to relax. Cause I've watched him all his life provide for me and teach me the art of provision and repair everything and provide everything from the cars to the houses, everything. So I'm like, you passed, give me the baton, old man. I mean, we running with the baton in one in his hand and one half and mine in the other. And I'm like, stop, let me do for you. Let me pay it back. Relax. It's like you've done more than enough. You set the bar too high. And he can't let go.
It's not that he can't let go. It's uncomfortable. It's like unsafe.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Like even like when you when you sitting there and everybody else working, it don't feel natural.
Right.
It's like you thinking people gonna look down on me because I'm not contributing. But that's not women, that's other men, huh?
Well, we naturally kind of feel it. When we were setting up here in Philadelphia for the first This Might Be Rocky event, all all the men, yo, you need a hand, you need a hand. People were asking me to carry the speakers up and down the stairs, and it was easy to employ the men because they were already asking for it.
Yeah.
We have a natural, it's just an innate instinct to do for society, to contribute some way.
But the
And we're not doing it
pushback,
because we want.
but the pushback of not contributing comes from other men, huh?
Maybe from seeing other men, and then maybe we take that on in ourselves, maybe.
Well, no. So like, if we doing shit and somebody moving out the way, I'm like, nigga, grab this shit.
Then I could see that being your perspective. I wouldn't necessarily do that.
Okay.
So yeah, that.
Or we at least know, like for instance, we know who ain't help. Like Master C, I'm like, nigga, shut up. You didn't help carry nothing down the stairs. You ducked Mr. Fantastic. We don't hear shit you got to say. Leave that heavy bag alone. They
Yeah.
ain't do nothing to you now.
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like you ain't help carry
It's
nothing.
all now.
And you duck the smoke, nigga. Leave that heavy bag alone.
Right.
You know? Damn. Okay.
But yeah,
okay.
I mean, you can tell when men are ready to volunteer and contribute. When Fantastic was setting up his table, you all right, man? You know, he only had just but a couple things, but you all right? You need something? He came to the table where we were. You all right? You need something? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's how it always be happening. People trying to look for a way, right? Because you know, I'm saying you feel like you not contributing, but
Right.
is that that's not dehumanization, right?
No.
The expectation, when that becomes an expectation for others, can start to be dehuman. And then we don't do it for reward, but when there's no empathy or there's no recognition on the back half of that, when you expect it, but you're not willing to even recognize the effort being put forward, that's dehumanizing.
Okay.
Well, I actually think that's more of a team concept that men learn and keep to a degree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If you were into any type of organized sport, so even certain businesses and certain occupations, right?
Mhm.
Certain crafts, where I think it's more so than that. So I wouldn't say that would be dehumanization. Is more as like indoctrination and, like I said, learn behavior. You feel me?
Okay. Now, but how does that happen with Aaron's father though?
So that part of it, now that's the duty. So the dedication and duty, or the not knowing when the, what I'm saying, that sacrifice, yeah, that the hyper selflessness, that's I think that, yeah, I think we do that on ourselves, but then at the same time, you can't say it too much because, again, every man doesn't have that. You know what I'm saying? Every man. I don't know nowadays.
Well, yeah, I guess so. In microcosms, right? The military, even though that's how many men in the military? 300,000? Is it 400,000? 300,000?
Total is like you got like 1 million of all the
Okay.
forces, like, but it's like 3% of the population, something like that.
Sorry.
Yeah,
you framed it better.
Yeah.
But those men seem to be selfless.
Yeah,
I mean, taking that job.
Yeah, most you for that job, most, but yeah, so most,
Yeah.
like it's 3% of the population.
Yeah.
So now, now we remember we're in the kids are working less at younger ages and so on and so forth. I think we have some of the highest unemployment, joblessness of all time, and this is the easiest work you can never have.
Yeah.
Compared to even for us, 15, 20 years ago. You feel me?
Okay.
So
okay.
that's
Okay.
why I would,
It's
so
almost,
as long as our generation as long as we outnumber the youngins, I guess, you feel me? But if more of them take over, no, the less that's going to be the case.
Okay. Damn. So that leaves a gap then.
Yeah.
That leaves a gap. Damn. Okay. All right, let's take a look at this one. God, I hate Instagram with this mute.
Is the level to which the against black men.
Salute to my brother Will. Sent me this morning once he saw the show, so I appreciate that, Will. Briscoe.
Specifically, is the level to which their humanity and their hearts have been devalued, diminished, and dehumanized, and that they have become doing machines. The greatest value a black man has, in many instances, is what he can do for somebody. Right. And how he can do it and how much he can do it and how much he earns doing it. I mean, I hear it and see it among young people in the relationships, you know, oh, you're going to get my nails done and you're going to do this and you're going to do that. Right. You know, they've been demeaned and devalued and dehearted to the point where they value themselves based on what they can do. Fix it, get it, make it happen. And no place have I seen in our world does anybody tell black men how to be with themselves, how to be true to themselves, how to be with their feelings, how to be with their heart. You know, it's criminal. So what happens is then they begin to do the things that are expected of them. And that's how they're evaluated. And then if they can't do that anymore, whether it's the job or pay the mortgage or whatever, then they're just cast off like socks in the corner. Right. Right. One of the greatest kryptonites for a man in general, black men specifically, is the feeling, the belief, the treatment that he is somehow inadequate. And when you devalue a man, he's going to feel inadequate. When you dehumanize him, when you deheart him, so then where does he go with that? Right. He's inadequate and he doesn't serve a purpose because he can't do what you need him to do to make you feel better about yourself. What's the purpose? What's the point? What's the point? And that's why we have these incredible rises in suicide. Where in the world do we see them lifted, honored? I don't want to say respected. And here's what I hear in the back of my mind. So let me just go ahead and deal with it. Black women saying, well, look what they do. And look how they are. And look what they do, you know. And we unwittingly participate in the emasculation, the dehumanization, the devaluation, and the disheartening of black men because they didn't do it the way we wanted them to do it. Mothers, wives, girlfriends, sisters. One of the greatest crimes perpetuated against black men specifically is the level to which their humanity and their hearts have been devalued, diminished, and dehumanized.
What's your thoughts?
Hey man, sound like me.
Go ahead, break it down.
I call it the ain't, can't, don't, want, man. Niggas ain't, niggas can't, niggas don't, niggas won't. Right? That's all you hear your whole life. It's literally all you hear. And you know, I didn't say this here, but I told this here, but I'll never forget it. One of the most disappointing points in my life, bro, was you know, I don't know, well, yeah, we the same age. So y'all remember the ITBS test? I would test the basic skills, like a little like assessment test when we was in like elementary school. Bro, I scored the highest fucking score on math, like in the school, bro. Highest score on math in the school. And my fucking mom, why you didn't get 100? I was like, bitch, I scored like 98%. Nobody goes perfect. I scored like a 98%. Like nobody got better than me. And then my you know, my first little proud little moment of like, yeah. And it meant so much because you know, it was just my friend. He was my best friend at the time. He was real good at math, and I scored better than him. So, you know, I was always a smart kid, so that's one of the things that mattered. So when I beat him in the fucking, you know, I scored higher than him on the fucking math shit. I was like, hell yeah, man. Like, and I got the highest score in the school. So, and she was like, why you can get 100? And I'm like, the fuck? What the fuck I'm just even doing this for? So yeah, man, like you said, a lot of boys are in their biggest moments, man. It's just not enough. No, it's never enough, dog.
Aaron?
Yeah, I absolutely can see that happening all over the place. And another thing I think happens is even things that we enjoy doing or things that we're good at, then it's perceived that we enjoy doing them. So when we do them and we do them well, the perception is we're just having fun. It's playtime. Where in reality, it's like, no, I mean, yeah, I'm good at this. This doesn't mean I enjoy this, but even if I do, it's still work. You know what I mean? And there's still work to prepare for it, and still work when it's being done, and work afterwards that requires effort. And I have limitations, and I also want to relax. Just because I enjoy this, I'm good at it, doesn't mean I don't want to get away from this. But the expectation is that I do it ad infinitum at a high level to satisfy anybody who benefits from it. And they think that there's no fuel tank to run out of gas, and you just become insatiable to the provision of whatever that is you're doing. You know what I mean? It's like, no, I do want to relax from this, or just because I'm good at it doesn't mean I like it.
Yeah.
Like I deserve respite too.
Yeah. Damn, what the fuck was I about to say? So that experience happened more like for sports, I guess you would say, with my dad though. So like assisted tackles meant nothing. If I made a tackle and it got 4 yards or better, that tackle don't mean shit. You know? You got to get stops at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. You got to be in that hole, pause, before he get there, pause. Right? On a sweep, he should not turn that corner before you take that angle and get there. You know? Drops, fumbles, none of that shit was acceptable. You know? There was a year I had 2 fumbles, I think. Maybe one fumble. And I probably had 200 carries at least. And them 2 fumbles felt like a million fumbles. But that came from my father. The elevated expectation, right? Now I think the ideology is if I ask you to be perfect, you'll be great. If I ask you to be great, you'll be good. If I ask you to be good, you'll be average, right? For all intents and purposes. If I ask you to average, you'll be bad. You know? And so I understand that. But there was so much emphasis on 8 tackles wasn't enough for one game. But that was from my dad though. So now you're like a machine and you got to get to these goals, right? Which are almost, not to say unachievable, but it was tough. What does that do to a boy?
Yeah, it absolutely hardens them, and it absolutely fortifies what we're saying all along. And a lot of this is what men do to themselves. You know what I mean? We accept and take on these roles, responsibilities, and missions because of stuff like that. And I always say that, you know, a good man, a father is a good man and a good father if his son looks up to him, right? Like I always knew Superman was artificial. Most boys, you know, their favorite superhero, Superman or Batman. My favorite superhero just turned 75 today. You know what I mean? And I told you about the arm wrestling competition. Last time we arm wrestled, he beat me. But I could tell if we arm wrestle tomorrow, right? The tides would turn, and I never ever challenged him to another arm wrestling competition again. Because I can't live knowing that I beat my dad in an arm wrestling contest. So when I say to this day, he's beaten me, even with my accolades in the weight room, he's the strongest man in the world to me. He's the only one that can beat me in an arm wrestling contest today.
Yeah.
We look up to our fathers that way so that when they pass down that expectation on us, we inherit it. And we perform at that level. And then we become that man for our boys. You're doing it to Chuck.
Yeah.
But I mean, great men make great men, right? Like a man that suffers is a man that is strong. So that to a degree, it's necessary. But what we're asking for is acknowledgement, recognition, empathy, and the occasional respite and rest from the damn job. We're not looking for a reward or accolade or trophy. We're just looking for thank you or damn. That shit looks harder than I could ever fathom. Instead of more. Damn, you slowing down, old man? You ain't doing it like you used to. Or what you crying about? I thought you was crying about the Jets. No, motherfucker, I've been crying for 40 years. I've been soldering inch by inch off of this damn roll of wire, and the end is near. I have to face my mortality, where for 40 years I did a thing better than anybody else could. And that's coming to an end, and I got to face that, and you worried about the New York Jets. Superheroes make superheroes, and we're all trying to be superheroes. No one ever says a superhero dies.
Like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, and tell a friend. Hit that like button right now if you can. That helps the channel the most.